Happy Wednesday. I'm Tristan Winder in the News 2 streaming studio at the Morning Pulse here on this April 23rd. What started out as a controlled burn in Brown County near Ainsworth has now burnt 12,000 and between 14,000 acres of land. An update from the Nebraska Forest Service on Tuesday put the fire at about 30% contained, but News Channel Nebraska reported later in the day that it had broken containment thanks to shifting winds. Crews from several areas had responded to the fire, including a plane from Valentine. And the Ainsworth Fire Department on social media today indicating that some of the reports of other crews that came in to provide mutual aid include Chadron and even as far east as Grand Island. This fire continuing to burn and now claiming, again, between 12 and 14,000 acres near Ainsworth. Started out as a controlled burn and now continues to burn hours and even days later. Nebraska corn farmers are expected to plant about 10.6 million acres of corn this year. That's according to March prospective planting reports released by the USDA. The Nebraska Corn Board says that this could translate to an investment of nearly $3.1 billion into the state's economy. Nebraska farmers usually plant corn in mid-April with the goal of finishing planting by mid-May, assuming weather allows. The latest crop progress reported issued on the USDA on April 15th showed farmers here in the state are just beginning to plant. Only 1% of them have completed planting their corn crop. In other statewide news today, State Auditor Mike Foley releasing a report flagging the salaries of some of the state's top elected officials. Foley notes that the highest paid superintendents across the state came from Fremont schools, while LPS's superintendent salary ranked 4th. Foley's report says that among the Nebraska average and median salaries, school districts pay their superintendents around the 75th percentile in comparison to similarly sized school districts across the nation. We'll have more on this later today here on News 2 at 6 and 10. And happening in the Nebraska legislature, a bill banning lab-grown meat from being produced or sold in Nebraska has advanced to the final round of debate. This comes after a nearly 2-day debate on the topic. The Nebraska Examiner reporting that there was a failed attempt to change the bill's focus on how to label the products. Those who support the bill say that they're trying to stop, quote, elitists from promoting unnatural food. Nebraska is the 4th state to attempt the banning of lab-grown meat. In other statewide news today, a Grand Island business owner accused of duping dozens of people out of money that they gave her for headstones is still unfit to stand trial. A judge made that decision yesterday after 47-year-old Kelly Leeper had pleaded not guilty to 46 charges, 38 of which were felonies. According to prosecutors, there have been more than 60 reports of the individual taking customers' money for a headstone and never giving them one. The next hearing in this trial, is set for June. In national news today, Walgreens has agreed to pay $350 million in a settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice, who accused the pharmacy of illegally filling millions of prescriptions in the last decade for opioids and other controlled substances. The nationwide drugstore chain must pay the government at least $300 million and will owe another $50 million if the company is sold, merged, or transferred prior to 2032. Ending today with some positive news, as a man with stage 4 cancer has a unique tour across the nation to do as much volunteering as possible before the disease takes his life. When the 55-year-old, Doug Rutch, was told earlier this year that he had 12 to 18 months to live, he did not choose to stay at home. Instead, he hit the road on a mission to help as many people as possible while he still can.
I thought to myself, I have two choices. I can sit at home and wait to die, or I can go out and live. And so I decided I was going to go out and live, and that's why I planned this 50-state tour.
Rutch is traveling across the country with the goal of volunteering in each of the 50 states. Rounding out the Morning Pulse here on this Wednesday, April 23rd, with a check the 7-day forecast. Breezy again for us today, but the warmest day we have for the remainder of this week. 68 the high today, dipping down about 10 degrees tomorrow, and then dipping even lower than that on Friday. Weekend temperatures not looking too bad as we rebound a little bit into the low 60s. Even better though on Sunday with temperatures approaching the low 80s, and then warm temperatures again extending into the early parts of next work week. Still chances of strong moisture beginning today and extending through Friday and even potentially on Saturday. Have a great day.